45 minutes-ish. It'll be a little bit shorter because of all the things. Um, and then if you want to go ahead and cue up your music, let's do that. I'm going to have you start off in child. Your knees out to the side edges of your mat. Sink your hips back towards your heels. And let's just start off breathing there for a moment. Relax your brows. And give yourself this moment to drop into your breath, drop into your practice, and to also step out of your day so far. All right. Let your forehead come down, relax your shoulders back and down from your ears. And take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale it all out, allow for that to be a grounding sensation. Your hips press back and down towards your heels. And then you inhale, let your belly expand. It reaches down towards the ground. You might feel your backside ribs lift. And then exhale to empty, to let it go. Reaching your fingertips forward maybe. And just take maybe 3 to 5 more breaths here. You have the option to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. At some point in your practice, you'll begin to inhale and exhale exclusively through the nostrils. And even though it is a gentle flow and a stretching practice, if you want to work into your Ujjayi pranayama, I've had the gift of practicing with my teacher, Amy, the last couple of weeks, and receiving that reminder that the breath in your practice is not what your breath in your daily life is, right? Pranayama is something different. It is the ability to gain control of your breath, deepening your breath. It's what takes you through your entire practice. And it also, when you're truly working pranayama, it cultivates this ability within yourself to send the breath to parts of your body that might need a little bit of additional expansion, warmth, heat, right? So sometimes when my right shoulder acts up or like my ribs, I inhale, focus my attention on that space, and then I exhale through pranayama, usually Ujjayi pranayama, and I send the breath to that space that I feel like needs a little bit of attention. And so then I think about kind of the rest of life, your real life off of your mat, right? It's all real, and when we give ourselves these moments of grounding here on our mat, we can start to identify those places in our lives that might need a little bit more breath, a little bit more attention. Where did it get stagnant, right? What has lost focus and might not be functioning at its optimal capability? And when we get centered and grounded here and we breathe and we move, we start to see with more clarity the stuff around us that's not quite there, right? It's not receiving all of the expansion and the warmth that maybe it needs, right? So on your next inhale, walk your hands forward. And as you exhale, walk them all the way over to the left. Get a stretch through your right side body, but keep pulling your right hip back. And then you inhale, walk your hands through center. And on the exhale, walk them all the way over to the right. And let your left hip pull back and down towards your left heel. Your forehead comes down to the ground. You stretch through your left side body. Feel how when you inhale, your left side ribcage fans open, the left side lung, it fills up, and there's a contraction to the right side body. So the right side lung might feel smaller, less ability to breathe, right? And then as you inhale, walk it back through center. And just for a moment, on the exhale, press up into hands and knees. We're not quite finished with this space. Stack your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. Bring your knees underneath your hips. Now with your inhale, drape a soft belly down towards the ground. Lift your chin, lift your tail. Feel some expansion across the front side, right? The front side of your heart. And then as you exhale, reverse the movement. Expand through the back side of your heart. Let your shoulder blades move away from one another. Tuck your chin, tuck your tail. Now on your inhale, come back through center for a moment. Bring your big toes back to touch, and then pay a lot of attention to your low back, to your hips, to your knees. Take your knees out to the side edges of your mat. I'm actually going to move my blanket. And then if it feels okay to you, big toes touching, sit your hips back towards your heels. And y'all, if you need a block to come behind you, you might choose to do so, right? And you're going to bring it just right back behind, maybe towards the back of your mat, and reach one of your hands back, right? I want to see if you can kind of feel your hand back there. You may or may not need the block. So you're here, your knees are open, and I want you to be really careful here. This is also something I got from Amy. Roll your shoulders back for a moment. Just feel this space out. And then with your inhale, reach your arms up and over your head. And then on the exhale, drop your right hand behind you. It might come onto a block. It might come down to the ground. You can stay right here. Left arm is at 12 o'clock. If it's available, press down into your right hand. Inhale, lift your hips. Take the back bend here. Reach your left fingertips back. But if your low back starts to talk to you or it feels hindered in any way, I want you to bring your hips right back down. Take one more inhale. Lift your heart. Lift your sternum. And then on the exhale, sit your hips back down towards your heels. Bring your shoulders over your hips. And then twist slightly over to the right. So your right hand is already behind you. Left hand finds the outside of your right thigh. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Open up through your chest, through your collarbones. And then exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Perhaps your chin moving towards your right clavicle. So you get a stretch through the left side of your neck. And on your inhale, come right back through center. Reach both arms up and over your head. Right arm stays at 12 o'clock. Exhale, drop your left hand behind you, either on your block or on the ground. Inhale, lift your hips up. Unless it feels like trash in your body, then stop, right? It's all good. Pull the pit of your belly in so you're supporting all of this on the opposite side. Lift your heart, lift your sternum. Trace a line with your right fingertips to the sky. And then exhale, sit your hips back down. The right hand comes to the outside of your left thigh. Left hand is right behind your hip. Inhale, lengthen your spine first. And then exhale, twist a little bit more towards the left. You can move your chin towards the knot in your left shoulder and stretch through your right side neck. And then inhale, come right back through front and center. Take both hands high. On the exhale, dive it forward. Come onto your hands and your knees. Turn your knees to 12 o'clock. And then as you exhale, dome out your upper back, navel to your spine. Inhale, come back into a neutral spine. And on the exhale, walk yourself forward. Untuck your toes. Let your elbows point back and come all the way down to your belly. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest. And then exhale to come back down. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest. And exhale to come back down. Now from here, bring your elbows, your forearms to the earth, setting up for Sphinx pose. You want your shoulders over your elbows, wrists in front of your elbows. Pull the pit of your belly in so that space between your navel and your pubic bone. Support your low back. Walk your hands forward if you need to. And then roll your shoulders back. The tops of your feet are down. Try to take all 10 toenails to the floor. And then take an inhale here. On the exhale, press the tops of your feet down, but lift your hips and get a little slight core work. Round through your upper back. Lift your belly, lift your hips, and then inhale, soften your hips down. The fronts of your shoulders roll back, lift your chest, but take your gaze just to the top of your mat. And then exhale, lift your hips, coil it up, navel to your spine. One more. Inhale, hips down, heart forward. And exhale to lift. Now inhale, soften everything down. On the exhale, walk your hands back and let your chest come down to the earth. Inhale, curl up your toes. Pull your heart forward to lift, perhaps stacking your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. And then exhale, take your hips back towards your heels with your belly pulled in and up, and let your forehead come down. Inhale, roll back up into a box pose. And on the exhale, curl up your toes, lift your hips up and back, and find downward facing dog. Hips high, chest towards your thighs. Your feet are about hip width distance apart, hands maybe shoulder width distance apart. And then lift your hips. If you're working your bandhas, inhale for Mula Bandha. Squeeze at the base of your pubic bone, but it's also when you squeeze and draw inward and upward, it's the very base of your belly that also pulls in and back. So it's not just the squeezing at the base of the pubic bone. It's a little bit more, right? It's the beginning of Uddiyana Bandha as well. Now take one more inhale. Soft bend to your knees so that you can gaze forward. And then exhale as many or as few steps as you need. Take your feet to the top of your mat. Let them be about hip width distance apart. You can have blocks at the top of your mat if that feels good to you. On the inhale, fingertips to your shins. Take the crown of your head forward, your tailbone back. Pull your belly in and up. And then exhale, there's a bend to your knees. Let your ribs come to the tops of your thighs. Your head hangs down. And grab onto opposite elbows for your ragdoll. So really let it all go here. Release out of the hamstrings, the low back, all the things. Breathe in. Know that you're breathing in. And breathe out. Know that you're breathing out. On your next inhale, roll it up one vertebra at a time. Nice and slow. Shoulders stack over your hips. Roll your shoulders back and down. And then on your inhale, reach your arms out and up. Stay right here for your exhale. Take an inhale. Reach your fingertips just a little bit higher. And then on the exhale, drop your right hand down. Reach your left arm up and over. Breathing in. And out. If you feel this at all in your low back, take the top of your pubic bone, draw it slightly up towards your navel so you lengthen through your lumbar spine. And then inhale, take both arms high. And exhale your left arm down, your right arm up and over. Relax your right shoulder down. Or actually, you can kind of pull your bicep up towards your ear as well. See what you feel when you do that, right? And then on your next inhale, take both arms to the sky. On the exhale, bring your hands down to the small of your back. Now, I really want you to support your lumbar spine with your hands, right? Fingertips up if it's there. It's okay if you point your fingertips down, right? Cricket wing your elbows back, navel. So you're creating a soft draw back here between the navel and the pubic bone to support your lumbar spine. On the inhale, lift. Lift your chest, roll your shoulders back. And then think of your navel pulling up and away from the top of your pubic bone, your sternum up and away from the top of your navel. So it's a standing but supported back bend. You're going to feel a stretch on the front of your hips perhaps, maybe even the quads. And then use your inhale, firm up the pit of your belly to lift your hips back over your shoulders over your hips. And then on the exhale, slide your hands down the back side of your body, forward fold, let your head hang down. And on the inhale, lengthen your spine. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down, step your left foot to the back of your mat and soften your left knee down to the earth. On your inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Perfect. And then on the exhale, it's an open arm twist to the right. Take your left fingertips forward, your right fingertips back. Stay right here for a moment. Check out the right knee. It stacks over the shin, over the ankle. So you might need to fire up the inner thigh. And then your arms are reaching in opposite directions. You could take your gaze over towards your right thumb. And then if you want to go there, right hand to the small of your back. And then take your left arm up to the sky. So you're supporting your low back with your right hand, but reach with your left fingertips up towards the sky and then maybe back towards the back of your mat. So feeling this across the front of your left hip, your left psoas, all the good stuff. And breathe. Take one more inhale here. On the exhale, hinge forward, twist over to the right, and take your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh, right knee. And then your right hand could seal to the left palm, and you're in a little bit deeper of a twist. Breathe. Gaze kind of over towards the right, maybe up slightly, but just breathing here. Watch your left hip if it starts to drop down. Try to pull it up by your left side waist. Second time to really be twisting towards the right, even in this little sequence right here. So you might feel like going deeper here as we are. If this is too much, you can always lift your shoulders over your hips and go right back into your open arms. Now on your inhale, reach your arms back up overhead. And then on the exhale, bring your hands down, straighten your front legs, shift your hips back and flex your toes back towards your shin. Now allow for the right hip to draw back, left hip forward, breathe. Now in this space right here, I'm going to give you a couple of options to stay as you are, toes back towards your shin, with a long spine, heart, and clavicles towards your right ankle. If you want to take a cat-cow here, on the inhale, really take your tailbone towards the back of your mat, pull your heart forward, roll your shoulders back, expand through your collarbones. And then exhale, dome out your upper back, navel to your spine, tuck your tail and tuck your chin. Now your hands could be on blocks here, right? Two more just like that. Inhale, flare your tailbone back, take your heart forward, watching your right knee. And then exhale to reverse, navel to your spine, dome out your upper back, press your hands down. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come back into a neutral spine. Stay for the exhale to reset. Now inhale, walk yourself forward. Hands to the inside of your right foot. Curl up your left toes. Lift your left knee. And then take yourself all the way to the back of your mat. Bend your left knee. Drop your hips down. And flex your right toes back towards your shin. So low skandasana to the back of your mat. Your hands can be down on the ground. Hands can be at heart center. But squeeze at the base of your pubic bone. So once again, working that mula bandha. It's what allows you to be here with like a sense of buoyancy and without kerplotting down onto your bottom. Which if you do, you do, and it's all good. Right? It's fine. None of this has to be perfect. Now on your next inhale, walk yourself towards the top of your mat. Hands come in towards the inside of your right foot, but leave your left knee lifted and let your hips kind of soften down. And then here, just move it around a little bit. So shifting your hips around. See if you can keep your right knee, mine's moving, but if you can keep your right knee in towards your right upper arm bone, your right tricep, and just kind of feel everything out. Where are you at? Yeah? All right. And when you're ready, step your left foot to the outside of your left hand, heels and toes out, bottoms low, hearts high, Malasana yogic squat. Hands to heart. hands to the ground, bottom on a block if you need it, or choose. But just be here. It's all good. If you want extra sensation, perhaps pressing the triceps, the elbows in towards the inner thighs. But remember, if you've got anything going on with your low back, sometimes that additional pressure exacerbates that. So you would maybe even remove all pressure. And then hands down to the ground. Inhale, lift your hips. Heel toe your feet together, straighten your legs. Exhale, fold over your thighs, let your head go. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, step your right foot back and bring your right knee down to the ground. Your left knee is a 90-degree bend. Inhale, use your abdominals, use your legs, and bring your shoulders over your hips, your arms up over your head. Stay right here for the exhale. Pull the pit of your belly back. Breathe here for a moment. Good. Take an inhale, reach your fingertips higher. And then on the exhale, open arm twist. Right arm forward, left arm back. Oof. Reach your fingertips in opposite directions, right? And then draw your hands slightly back so that you open up through your chest. And if it's available, drishti towards your left thumb. It's going to challenge the balance ever so slightly. Keep pressing down into the big toe ball mound of your left foot. Good, y'all. Now you can totally stay here or bring your left hand to the small of your back. Reach your right fingertips up. So now moving into this front side of the right side of the body. Stretch through the rib cage. Feel your intercostal muscles as your ribs slowly begin to separate. Think of telescoping. So you lift, you open, everything kind of, right? Wish I had a scientific term for the noise I just made. But pull the pit of your belly back, right? This is your center. Draw back here. On the inhale, slowly bring your shoulders back over your hips. Hinge at your left hip. Lengthen your spine forward. And then exhale, twist over to the left. Take your right elbow to the outside of your left knee or thigh. And then your left hand can meet the right. So think every time you inhale, you lengthen your spine. And the exhale, you twist a little bit deeper. You are more than welcome to come straight back into your open arm twist. And if you firm up the inner thighs and kind of squeeze them in towards one another, it helps with the balance aspect, right? The stability. Now exhale completely. Inhale, rotate back front and center. Reach your arms high. And then exhale, frame your front foot with your hands. Shift your hips back, straighten through your left leg, flex your toes back towards your shin. Ardha Hanumanasana, your half split for just a second. Just a second. Let's breathe. And flex your toes back towards your shin. Pull your left hip back, your right hip forward. And remember, you have that option to stay just like that. Or you can inhale, extend your tailbone back, pull your heart forward, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, tuck your chin, tuck your tail, navel to your spine, doing that cat-cow, but from your half split. Inhale, the belly down-ish, right? Heart forward, tailbone extending. Exhale, curl it back in and up. Last one, inhale. And exhale. And then inhale to a neutral spine. Just stay right here, reset for your exhale. Inhale to walk yourself forward. Left hand comes to the inside of your left foot. Curl up your right toes, lift your right knee. And then exhale to the back of your mat. Bend your right knee, straighten your left leg, flex your toes back towards your shin. And then option 2, hands heart center, hands down on the ground. You do you. It's all good. Just feel it out, watching your left knee. And then you're going to exhale completely here, hands to the ground. Inhale, lift your hips, walk yourself towards the top of your mat. Exhale to a strong lizard, both hands to the inside of your left foot. Your right knee is lifted, and then you circle out the hips if you'd like. Feel it out. What's going on? Perfect, y'all. Now this time we're going to add on just a little bit. So I'm going to have you walk back over to the right one more time. So you're in a prosarita, right? Wide leg. Turn your toes either slightly pigeon-toed or parallel to the long edge of your mat. Take an inhale, lengthen your spine, the crown of your head forward, your tailbone back, your belly in and up. And on the exhale, fold in between your two thighs. Let your head hang down. Let your chin go. Let your neck go. And then on your inhale, lengthen your spine. Now, here's where it's going to get a little bit different than what you're accustomed to, right? On the exhale, walk your left hand over towards your right foot. So I'm going to mirror you. So you're going to take your left hand over to your right foot. You're just kind of stretching here, feeling this all out into your left side body, right? Now, if you want it, take your right hand and weave it in between that space that's between your left arm and right foot, right? And then flip your fingertips towards the long edge of your mat. So your right fingertips are pointing in the opposite direction from your right foot, right? I don't know if y'all can all see that. And then maybe you bend into your right knee. And then maybe you bend into your left knee and really feel as your left hand grabs your right ankle. And then you bend into your left knee, all the opening that's happening in your left side body. And then you inhale, straighten your left leg. Exhale to release right here back in the center. Let it all go. Move it around, wiggle out through your shoulders. And then inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, walk your right hand over to your left ankle, your left foot. Start here with your left hand on the ground. Let's just feel this all out. No need to do anything else just yet. Just opening up now through your right side body. And then take your left hand, weave it in that hole between your left leg and your right arm, but flip your left fingertips in the opposite direction from your left toes with your left palm on the floor. And for starters, just bend into your left knee, feel that out. And then you straighten, let your head go, and then bend into your right knee. So get that opposing force of your right hand grabbing your left ankle, your right hand grabbing your left ankle and your right knee bending, and all that deep stretch through everything from your right shoulder to your right ribs. And then inhale, come right back through center to release it. Exhale to fold yourself down, let it go, head hangs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And then exhale, walk yourself to the top of your mat. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Heels in, toes out, bottoms down, hearts high. And breathe. Relax your brows and your jaw. And if you want to move side to side here for a moment, if it feels good to you. And bring your hands down to the ground. Inhale, lift your hips, straighten your legs, heel toe your feet together. And then exhale, fold yourself down. Now inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms out and up. On the exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Step your left foot to the back of your mat. Your left heel is flat. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. So now in your Virabhadrasana A, warrior one. Your right knee tracks the heel or the ankle. Seal your outer left foot to the ground. Take an inhale, reach your fingertips higher. On the exhale, bring your elbows back and down. Lift your chest. Now as you inhale, bind up your hands. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest. And then exhale, hinge at your right hip. Let your forehead, the crown of your head come down. Tuck your chin. Fist works its way up and over. Continue to pull your right hip back in space. Squeeze at the base of your pubic bone, tuck your chin. Those of you working your bandhas, Jalandhara Bandha, you tuck your chin towards the jugular knot. Your drishti is going to go to your own navel. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, bring your hands down. Frame your front foot with or without your blocks and straighten out through your right leg. Pull your right hip back, your left hip forward. And then press down into the big toe ball mound of your right foot. Breathing here. And then on your next inhale, take a soft bend into your right knee. On the exhale, straighten your right leg, lift the left just for a moment. Take your inhale here. Exhale, bring your left knee behind the right. Slide your left knee all the way down and come into a seated twist. So if this is more than the hips, the knees feel like doing today, straighten your left leg out, right? It's all good. If it feels okay to have both knees bent, drop your right hip down. Right foot is to the outside of your left thigh. Inhale, reach both arms overhead. Exhale, your right hand behind your right hip. Your left arm slides to the outside of your right thigh. You could also just hug your right knee in. Now, as you inhale to lengthen, exhale, twist a little bit more. So getting into your outer hip, while at the same time getting a twist for your spine and compression for your right hip flexor, right? It's thinking about all the pieces, not just the one that's the most obvious. Now, as you inhale, lengthen your spine. And on the exhale, you twist a little bit more. So we got to pay attention to every single piece, right? Not just the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. All of it is important for our healthy functioning. Now on your inhale, turn your gaze forward. And on the exhale, drop your hands over to the left. Now inhale, come right back through center. On the exhale, unravel, extend both legs forward. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, hinge at your hips and fold over your thighs. Relax your shoulders back and down. And then you inhale to slowly roll back up. On the exhale, bring your feet together. And then y'all, if you need to use your hands, you use your hands. This is just a little core challenge. Can you inhale, sweep your hands forward, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, bring your hands down to heart center, and it's all good. If you have to use the hands, just use them, right? Inhale, step your right foot to the back of your mat. Exhale, seal the right foot down, bend into your left knee. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. So Virabhadrasana A, left side. Stay for the exhale. Engage your right glute, your right hamstring to support the right side spine. Take one more inhale, reach your fingertips higher. Exhale your elbows back and down. And then inhale, Baddha Hasta, interlace your hands, the base of your spine. Roll your shoulders back and down. And then on the exhale, hinge forward. Let the crown of your head drop down. Tuck your chin, tuck your tail. Pull your left hip back. Those of you, if the hip allows, you're going to drop the crown of your head all the way down. Take one more inhale here. On the exhale, frame your front foot, straighten through your left leg, and pull your left hip back, your right hip forward. Breathe. Pyramid pose. You can have hands on blocks or not at all. You do you. On the next inhale, bend into your left knee. Exhale, straighten your left leg, lift your right. It's a standing split. Stay for just an inhale. And then exhale, tap your right knee behind the left. Slide your right knee down your left calf and sit it down. Again, if you want to extend your right leg forward, that's totally fine. Otherwise, drop your left hip down. Both knees are bent. Inhale, take your arms up overhead. Exhale, twist over to the left. Your right arm can come around your left knee, left thigh, or you just hug it in. Remember, your left arm is like a second spine. You inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. On your inhale, turn your gaze forward. Exhale, drop your hands over to the right. And then inhale, come right back through center. Exhale, extend your legs forward. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. And then exhale, fold over your thighs. Relax your shoulders back and down. Pull your heart forward. And then slowly release and roll up. Bend your knees, take a C curve to your spine, and then roll yourself down one vertebra at a time. And then bring your feet underneath your knees, hands down next to your hips. And with your inhale, press your feet down and forward, lift your hips. And find Setu Bandhasan, your bridge pose. You might roll your arms underneath your shoulders. You could interlace your fingers, make a little fist underneath your sacrum. Now, if you like it, from here, you could place your hips back down on that fist. Check out your elbows, though, and get a little stretch for your arms, right? If it bothers your elbows or your shoulders or your wrists, don't do it. If it feels okay, stretch it out. But stay light, right? Don't press all your weight down into it. And then inhale, lift your hips. And then exhale to release your arms. On your inhale, open your arms out to a T. Bring your knees into a 90-degree bend. And then exhale, drop your knees over to the right and turn your face to the left. And then on your next inhale, one knee at a time, come back through center. And then exhale, drop your knees to the left and turn your face to the right. On your inhale, come right back through. Grab onto one of your blocks. On the exhale, drop your feet down just like you were into a bridge pose, right? And then inhale, lift your hips, slide your block underneath your low back, your sacrum, your hips. Find a spot that feels right for a supported waterfall. I find that I've got to go a little bit lower, like towards my sacrum. And then lift your feet into the sky. And one more inhale right here. And then exhale, bring your feet down to the ground. Inhale, press your feet down, lift your hips, remove your block. And then exhale, bring your bottom back down to the ground. Take an inhale here. And then exhale to a happy baby. Peace fingers to the big toes, or maybe hands to the inner outer arches of your feet. Just be there for a moment. And then inhale here. And on the exhale, release, hug your knees and towards your chest. Take a deep breath in. And then breathe out, round your forehead up towards your knees. And then inhale here. And on the exhale, open up into your Shavasana, whatever that looks like for you. Create any shape that you need in your body, but allow for the bottom side of your body to feel heavy, grounded, it's rooted. While the top side is light, it's weightless, it's floating. Relax your shoulders, your jaw. Relax your brows and let your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. And rest. If what you need is to be here a little bit longer, you're going to tune me out and stay right where you are. Especially if you were just now able to drop in, I urge you to stay right there. Otherwise, begin to deepen your breath and wiggle your fingers and your toes. And on the inhale, float your arms up overhead and find a full body stretch. And on the exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins, and then you'll roll slightly over to the right. Or you can just pop up to your comfortable, easy sit where we're all going to meet in Sukhasana. Once you get there, roll your shoulders back, sit up nice and tall, proud chest, lifted heart. So take that final moment, that pause, to be grateful for our bodies, for what they do for us today, to be hopeful for tomorrow. Thank you all for taking this practice, for being here and rolling out your mats. It's important. It's a necessity, not a luxury. So peace be with each and every one of you, and namaste.